At what point do you start to get involved with the real heavy gangster stuff? Like you start, you know, I guess did it ever get into the drug thing? Did you ever, get into
That's
hits and stuff like that?
that's after I come back from Hong Kong. That's only between 86, 88, those 2 years. And afterward, I went back to Hong Kong, and those kind of heavy stuff thing, and someone to take care right here. I stay in Hong Kong. But whatever they do, they will pay a percentage to me, like this.
Who
Understand what I'm saying? Like, okay, let's say this way. Like, they want to, like, they have customer. They want to get something for them. But this merchandise is from Hong Kong. So who go to Hong Kong to deal with it?
Jimmy. I'm sorry. Clifford.
Cliff, no, not Cliff. Cliff is the boss on the top before. Right. After he get all kind of Egypt business, you think he will touch this kind of stuff?
Like
he won't touch this kind of stuff. He's smart.
So that's his next in line.
Yeah. So he must get someone to, the connection in Hong Kong to speak with. So I stay in Hong Kong. Yeah, I stay in Hong Kong, and whatever they do, they need anything, I just, get a connection. That's it.
So then that becomes your responsibility?
Yeah.
And what is it that you are required to withstand? Like if something happens, are you the designated fall guy? Is it on you to bear the brunt of
not the whole thing?
Scenario?
Not the whole thing. Maybe a part of it. Okay, right. Because all different dino, they have the different sources. They have their own connection. Not only me. Okay, even we are in the same group. I don't know his connection. He don't know my connection. Same thing.
So it's insulation.
Yeah.
Going back a bit, when you first got involved with the Triad, I mean, you were a kid, so
not even a kid. 20. It's over 20 already.
Right.
Yeah, 87 is over 20. I'm 22.
But when you first got involved, did you have any idea of the history and
Yeah, I knew it already because when I still in TO Tung On, a couple of oldest members, they are already a member of Triad, Hong Kong Triad, and they are not the soldier. They are the Dai Lo too. They are the 426 in Triad. So they taught me everything. And when the first time when I go to Hong Kong, they brought me over there. They tell me to go Hong Kong with them. That's the first time I go with them. And they show me everybody. They show me the boss. They show me the soldier, the Dai Ma. They bring me walking around in their territory. And that's how I get deep into it.
So when you go over to Hong Kong, you meet with the high ranking,
the boss
over there.
Yeah.
What's that like?
What's that like?
Yeah, how does that go? They just bring you over and say, "This is Jimmy from New York," and Jimmy, this is the biggest guy we got.
No, he didn't ask me more questions. He only asked me, "Okay, what you do in New York? How many people you have? What kind of range you can have in New York?" Like this. And then afterward, you tell someone to bring me to some place and do the those kind of thing, those kind of ritual thing.
Ritual?
Yeah, for the Hong Kong Triad. Yeah.
Oh, so this at this point you have to do another ritual.
I become a Hong Kong Triad.
Oh. So is this oath that you take with that? Is that the one that's like the one that was like the fabled oath taken by Liu Bei and Guan Yu and Zhang Fei back in the historical times of China?
Something like that, but more complicated.
More complicated.
More complicated because I'm general 426 and different than a regular soldier. So it's like a little bit more complicated.
Were drugs a major? I mean, when I was running around, there was a period where a lot of the heroin that we were getting was coming from Chinese sources.
Yeah. At that time, I think,
and this is my time.
With not 90, I think it's 80% is from China. 80%.
80%.
Yeah, Thailand, China, those kind of places.
So, are you're involved with that aspect of the Triad business?
In Hong Kong?
At that point?
In Hong Kong?
Mm-hmm.
No.
No,
because I'm not from Hong Kong. I'm not from Hong Kong. You can say that because, I'm from Hong Kong. I born in Hong Kong, but I left. I left so long, like 20, almost 15 years, and they have their own 大佬 in Hong Kong. They are doing those kind of stuff. So the first main point is I cannot stay in Hong Kong forever. Right? I have to go back to the United States. So whatever the Hong Kong people did, I'm not going to touch it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Simple as that.
So you at the point at which you go to Hong Kong, prior to you going to Hong Kong, you have a couple of serious issues. One is, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the first would be when you get arrested for a robbery and a homicide.
That's before I went to Hong Kong.
That was before you went to Hong Kong, right?
85.
Right. So you get arrested for this robbery and this homicide.
Mm-hmm.
And they hold you on $1.5 million bail.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you're locked up for a couple of years. Where are you locked up?
2 years. Yeah, 1 year in Rikers Island and 1 year in Connecticut, Beachport.
So you're on Rikers Island. Where on Rikers Island are you?
C-74 at the first beginning. Yes.
So C-74 is, for anybody who's from New York. I've never been to Rikers Island except to speak, but of course a lot of my friends unfortunately made that trip. C-74 back in this era you're talking about,
85.
It was
Animal
reputed
house.
to be hell
Animal
on
house.
earth.
We call it Animal House.
Animal House.
Yeah. Yes.
So and this is for people who are native to America. They are, the population is largely Black and Hispanic.
Mm-hmm.
There are very few Asians.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's even the case now. There's not very many Asians comparative to like the 2 million people in prison in this country.
Mm-hmm.
A very small percentage of them are Asian.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
here you are in one of the worst prisons in America at one of the worst periods. How do you fare? How do you survive?
Oh, I'm lucky. I have my brotherhood inside already.
Who is this guy?
You heard this guy named Grasshopper?
Grasshopper.
Yeah, and he's a very famous guy in Rikers Island at that time. Mm-hmm. And even now, people still mention him.
And what is Grasshopper known for? Why is Grasshopper so?
He's inside for murder.
Right. And
why before he got sentenced to Elmira, and he's working in the reception room, C-74. Mm-hmm. And when I got into C-74, I was in the reception, and then he's like marking the floor, and then he saw me, and then calling my name out. What are you doing here? I say, what are you doing here? Before you're still in Rikers Island, right? And then he told me that he's still waiting for going up to Elmira. Mm-hmm. So after he saw me, he tell the CO, because he's been inside for a pretty long time. I think he's inside for like 2 years already. So he tell the CO to bring me to his dorm to live together. So at the first couple months before he moved to Amara, and we lived together. So he take care of me everything. He taught me everything. And don't do this, don't do that. Whatever you have, you can do. He taught me everything.
What was it that Grasshopper was so famous for at Rikers Island? What was it that he had done that made him somebody that people knew?
What I heard, he never taught me his story, but he don't want to mention it. But what I heard from close friend from him, before he start messing with a Spanish guy, and he kicked this guy real bad. And then the CO come in, try to stop him. They can't stop him. And then the CO calling the fight squad. The fight squad come in. Yeah, the fight squad come in, and he kicked every fight squad out.
So the riot squad, these guys, they sometimes call them the turtles. These are guys that come in with the shields, the helmets, the clubs.
Even they tell me, even the helmet, he kicked the helmet off. The seal fire away. Everybody saw that.
So you happen to hook up with your homie, who happens to be one of the few Asians in the prison, and not only is he one of the few, but he's like the most notorious.
Yeah, and he's the longest Asian in the Rikers Islands. Yep. So he's the famous. Nobody messed with him. After that incident, nobody messed with him. And then after he left, even though the other people call me Grasshopper.
Really?
Yeah, because they saw I'm with him.
Right.
So for that year, nobody messed with me. I just doing my time, waiting for a trial. And I have dropped in the seal. I have dropped in the kitchen. I have a job in the captain room. So every day I just work. And honestly, that 2 years is the time I learned my English. You can tell I'm spoken English. Because before that, I only went to school for a couple of months. From Hong Kong to United States, went to school for a couple of months, and then I come out. I never go to school. Before that, that 2 years, I don't speak English. Only yes and no, maybe, fuck you, that's it. But after that 2 years, I speak my language. I speak English.
Wow.
Yep, 2 years. That 2 years.
So you ultimately, that case was dismissed. How did that case come about and in the first place? Like, how did you catch that charge in the first place?
Somebody snitched.
Somebody close to you?
Real close to me. Somebody who's a good leader when I first joined NTO. Okay. And
so he had rank. When you joined, he already had rank.
Yeah. And he snitched. And that incident, I was not even there. But I don't know why he point the finger on me. And for that, I was doing time for 2 years.
So how was it that your case ultimately got dismissed?
Because the judge, they have a take for my co-defendant, and saying that my co-defendant saying that I'm the one did that case with him. So the judge called the co-defendant to come up to testify. But when the my co-defendant sit on the witness stand, and he pulled out a letter from the lawyer and saying that he go take the fifth. So after he take the fifth, all his evidence, like the tape, they cannot use that against me in the court. Everything is gone. Now. So the judge asked the DA, so what else you have? And the DA saying that like they have an informant. Saying that like I'm the one who tell the informant, I'm the one who involved this case. So the judge say, okay, tell your informant to come up to testify next court. But he disappeared.
Like he He disappeared like nobody could find him, or he disappeared like he ran away?
No, they can't. They find him, but they tell him to come to the court. He refused it. He didn't come to the court. So the judge asked the DA, what else you have? The DA say, that's it. So the judge tell me, Mr. Tsui, you can go now. Go home now. I was looking at the judge. That's it? For 2 years? Now you tell me I can go home now? The judge say, yeah, you want to stay here? Go home. So I go home. And after I got out, I think it's like a month or so, the informant got arrested by the Fed.
On another case?
For a bullshit reason. I can say that for a bullshit reason to arrest him because he didn't come up to testify for my case.
Right.
Okay, that's the story.
Yeah. They do that.
Yeah.
They do that. So now you've been out of the mix for 2 years, right? Now you hit the streets. You kind of gotta get reacclimated, right? You don't really know what's what.
No, after I come out from the after I come out and I went back to the association, went back to the TO, and at that time I have a couple of dailo, my upper level. They really like me, and they saw me come out and they know I did 2 years inside, so they are about to going back to Hong Kong. So they asked me, do you want to follow me? Do you want to come with me to the Hong Kong? So I said yes. So that's the first time I went to Hong Kong. That's the first time.
So in that first trip, is that when you
get
connected to Son Yong?
Yeah, that 2 dailo is already a general 426 in Sun Yong. So
that was a big deal, wasn't it?
Yeah. So when I get to Hong Kong, and they brought me to, they asked me, you want to join our group? You want to see our boss? So I say, why not? So I went to there. So I meet the boss. So I do the ritual thing. So I become a Sun Yong.
And when you get this additional prestige, does this give you access to more money making opportunities? I mean, is that what it's about?
Yeah.
Is it just
you get more
prestige?
connection. Yeah, you get more different kind of connection.
So what's the first thing you do with this new level of power? What's the first thing you do with it?
In Hong Kong, or
general,
come back here?
When you get back.
When I get back, okay. Before I come back, the boss give me 200 number. And tell me recruit more people in New York. I give you 200 members number. Okay, each number I give out, they will have, Hong Kong will support me for these people. Like the more people I got, the more support I got. Understand what I'm saying?
And he gave you 200 men.
200 members number.
So that gives you 200 new soldiers, doesn't it?
Yeah.
200 new guys in your command.
Yeah.
200.
And at that time they want to, the I can say the leader in the Triad for my group, they want to do some business in New York. So they need to build up the power. They need to build up a structure in New York first before they come to New York.
Right, of course.
Yeah. So they need someone to doing that. So
that's a big responsibility.
Yeah. So I'm the one right at the spot, right at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're setting up to do something at this point. They give you 200 new men to add. Did you still have command of your initial down line? Your initial your initial soldiers?
Yeah, I still have command for my group leader. Yeah, Daima.
Right.
Yeah, right. They still listen to me.
And now they add.
So I give them
from Hong Kong adds 200 more guys.
I give the group leader a certain number and to tell them to give all the soldier a number. So everybody become a member of Sun Yong.
So everybody now back in the States, by way of you, becomes a member of the Hong Yong-based triad?
My group, yes.
I mean, I understand how crazy that is. How can we, like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Even though in our association at that time, we have the flag, say Sun Yong, we put it outside the window.
A flag?
Yep. And say Sun Yong. Put it outside the window at our association. That's how crazy it is.
That's crazy.
After we put our file, and then all the newspaper come up. New York Sun Yong. That's on the newspaper.
So they understood that. They like there was some level in which the media understood the significance of this.
Yeah. That's how crazy
basically
we are.
It was saying that the Hong Kong Triad had come to Chinatown in New York.
Yep. That's how crazy we are. Right? I think that's the point, bring up the Fed attention.